Ở phía dưới có dây mạng cắm vô cho nó ổn định. Có người bảo là rồi anh rồi tèo luôn. Bữa C21 mãi bữa tôi nó phòng quanh ta sự lớn lên để
Good morning, everyone. This is Fat from CMail Retract. I think there should be another 3 minutes before we start our sessions. Hello, Doctor. Hello, can everyone hear me clearly? I'm just checking whether our tech work or not. Thank you. For those who has the internet connection and unstable internet connections, please try to plug your computer in a cable and do not use the Wi-Fi because our internet is we have checked and it is clear enough. It just I think that would be the technical problem on your side. So there's a few options. One is to reset your Wi-Fi modem, and second is like to connect your computer into a cable in order to well get a clearer connection. And this is 9 o'clock, and I think we will start our sessions today. Hello, Dr. Anita. Are you here or not? Hello, Doctor. Hello, Dr. Anita. Hello, Dr. Anita.
Okay, am I okay now? Am I heard?
Yes, I can hear
Hi,
you now.
everyone. Good morning. Welcome to our second session. So I'm glad to see you back. And those who are just coming up today, welcome. Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning, Doctor.
Good morning.
Well, I think we should start the sessions now, Dr. Anita.
Yes.
So please let me start with the formal introduction first. Well, welcome back to the second sessions of the module online training program conducted by CMAIL Training Center in Vietnam, CMAIL Retract. My name is Phát, I'm program officer at International Development Department, and I will be the moderator for today's sessions. Let me start by giving you a brief information about our module online training program. This program constitutes 4 modules. Module 1, Educational Leadership and Management. Module 2, Teacher Leadership and Management. Module 3, Curriculum Instruction and Assessment. And Module 4, Soft Skills. Each module will cover 4 topics divided into 2 sessions. We will conduct it 1 session per month, expected to be always on Friday morning from 9 to 11:30 a.m. Covering this morning are the next 2 topics of the module 1, Educational Leadership and Management, namely instructional leadership and resilience in the workplace. Before we start, I would like to mention a little housekeeping rules. Our webinar is video recorded, so please watch and listen to the video. It will be less than 30 minutes. If you have any questions during the video, please type them into the Q&A panel or the chat box below in Zoom and also in the YouTube platform. After the video, we will have time for questions and answer. Dr. Anita, our trainer, will address each question individually. Our presenter today, Dr. Anita Clapano Oplina, obtained her doctorate degree in education, planning, and management in the Philippines. She has been in the field of education and engaged in the administrative functions back in the Philippines. She was the assistant to the academic vice president at Xavier University in 2014, a dean of faculty and academic affairs at FINMA Cagayan de Oro College from 2015 to 17. She came back to CMAIL Retract in 2018 as a senior education specialist and has been working as curriculum developer, instructional materials designer, trainer, researcher, and lecturer. She is very passionate to advance the leadership and management skills of the school leaders, managers, administrators, and teachers in Southeast Asia. And before turning over to our presenter to have a word with you, I would like to request everyone to turn on your camera for a photo shoot. Thank you. Everyone, please turn on your camera for a photo shoot. We will commence in a few seconds. Okay, I'm gonna count from 1 to 3. 1, 2, 3, smile please. And a second time, 1, 2, 3, smile please. Thank you. And Dr. Anita, please have a word with our participants before we start the video.
Thank you for your kind introduction, Fat. Again, welcome to our second session for Module 1. And again, Module 1 is Educational Leadership and Management. And to remind you that we were already done with the first 2 topics. Topic 1, the pillars of educational leadership in the digital age. Topic 2, understanding human behavior in organization. And today, we are going to take another 2 topics. And these are the last 2 topics of Module 1, instructional leadership and resilience in the workplace. So like what we did last session, we are going to have first the instructional leadership and then followed by resilience in the workplace. Again, this is a video recorded presentation. So we are going to watch the video, and then after the video presentation, we will be having our question and answer. And during the question and answer, I would like us to be free to share our ideas, our thoughts, our experience. Maybe there are no questions, but maybe there are experiences that you would like to share with us and that would enrich us all. And so, again, I'd like to encourage you that this is a community of trainers and community of teachers, be a community of leaders. And we are here to listen from each other and then share what we have and ask questions, things that we would like to know more. I hope that's quite clear. Just feel free. This is a conversation. Okay, this is just, sharing. And don't think that this is kind of a formal, very formal thing. It's not. It is building our leadership and management skills in many ways. So with that in mind, I would like us now to listen and watch the video. Maybe we can play the video now. Thank you.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the second session of Module 1, Educational Leadership and Management. In this session, we are going to learn the last 2 topics of Module 1, Instructional Leadership and Resilience in the Workplace. Let's get started with instructional leadership. Instructional leadership is one of the most researched topics regarding the principal, the sole provider of instructional leadership. But this concept has been criticized. Recent studies define the instructional leadership into 2 approaches, the exclusive approach and the inclusive approach. The exclusive approach regards the principal as a sole holder of responsibility in setting goals, supervision, and developing instruction that enhances student learning, while inclusive approach emphasizes the collaboration between principal and teachers to develop curriculum and instruction to improve students' performance. This is called shared responsibility. My presentation is about shared responsibility between the principal and the teachers in advancing quality instruction to optimize students' learning, specifically an inclusive approach to instructional leadership. I'm going to share with you 3 key points about instructional leadership as follows. What is instructional leadership? What has the instructional leader been typically doing in the school? And what must instructional leaders do to improve instruction? What is instructional leadership? Instructional leadership is about teaching and learning, and the center is the student. It is focusing on students' achievement. The term instructional comes from a noun instruction, which means teaching. Teaching means delivering the content and developing the skills of the students with the purpose of impacting change in students' knowledge, skills, attitude, and behavior. An instructional leadership mindset includes an intense moral purpose focused on promoting deep student learning, professional inquiry, trusting relationships, and seeking evidence in action to impact quality instruction. Instructional leaders establish and communicate a clear vision and goals for their schools that center on high student achievement and quality instruction. They manage resources for their schools and ensure that teachers have access to everything required to provide the best possible instruction for students. Principal, who is the leader of the leaders, support teachers in their practice by facilitating professional development and good working conditions conducive to learning. We also support teachers by providing coaching and mentoring to ensure that best practices are used in their schools. As instructional leaders, they potentially affect the learning outcomes of the students in their schools. What is the goal of instructional leadership? The goal of instructional leadership is improving quality of instruction and optimizing student learning. How can this be done? Instructional leader should see to it that content, delivery, assessment, learning materials, classroom facilities must be given full attention. The instructional leaders should see to it that quality instruction is consistent to all classrooms. For examples, if there are 100 classrooms, all classrooms are equally provided with the necessary support for quality instruction. Not one classroom is set aside, just as not one student is left behind. All students have equal opportunities to learn and improved in process. How does instructional leader optimize student learning? Instructional leader optimizes student learning by collaborating to all aspects of the school that affect instruction. This includes the academic, non-academic, and support groups such as library, guidance office, clinic, laboratory, sports, student affairs office, canteen, and all aspects of the school. The instructional leader must connect and collaborate with the entire school staff by creating opportunities for each student to achieve optimal learning and personality development. How do we know the students learn? Let me cite an example. I'm handling a research class. The topic of our lesson is writing good research questions. I explain the process of formulating good research questions with examples. Then I ask my students to formulate one good research question. Time's up. Of 30 students, only 5 were able to write good research question. In this case, my teaching is almost a failure. Only 5 had manifested change. The change from not knowing to write good research question to able to write. I must improve my instruction so that I could impact change, especially to my slow-performing students. To know whether our students are learning is to gauge and describe the changes that happen during and after instruction. The ultimate end of instruction is change. The change of the student from not knowing to knowing, from unable to perform to able to perform, from shy student to confident student, from low-performing student to high-performing student, and finally, from student to employee in the workplace. Keeping that in mind, let us now explore what the instructional leaders have been doing in the school to affect student learning. This brings us to the second key point. What has the instructional leader been typically doing in the school? Instructional leaders play a very hands-on role in providing professional learning within their schools on a group and individual teacher basis. Leading discussions about student achievement and implications for teaching and planning practices, and coaching and mentoring school staff. Among several tasks that instructional leader is engaging in a typical day, I am going to share with you 8 common tasks. 1. Observe a teacher's lesson and provide feedback. 2. Model a particular teaching strategy in a classroom. 3. Communicate high expectations and ensure that the school environment is conducive to learning. 4. Observe a teacher working with a small group of students on a diagnostic assessment task and making a judgment about the skills and understanding demonstrated. 5. Work with a group of teachers on a year level to analyze progress made on a cohort basis and identify students at risk, along with the appropriate tier level of intervention they may need. 6. Work with a group of teachers to evaluate the success of their teaching programs or specific intervention strategies at a group and individual student level, and help teachers plan for the next period of teaching. 7. Provide professional learning for whole school staff on topics of general relevance or specific need in relation to teaching and learning, such as how to structure a research format and how to engage students in ownership of their learning. And 8. Develop structures and routines to ensure that you could impact on all classrooms on a regular and timely basis, while flexibility of approach is important to accommodate emerging school needs. For example, instructional leaders can adapt or develop templates to record their discussions with teachers, actions required, follow-up required, and goals to be achieved by the next meeting. This level of documentation is demanding and sometimes confronting for teachers, but it is essential in underscoring the seriousness of purpose of the exercise and the high expectations for improvement in student outcomes. Moreover, it reinforces that this level of scrutiny of practice and accountability for outcomes would not be an add-on to normal practice, but rather business as usual from now on. In meeting the needs of low-performing students, instructional leaders should keep in mind the following. Improved student learning is dependent on the quality of teaching students received, which in turn depended on the teacher's capacity to consistently deliver high-quality lessons targeted at students' individual learning needs. Building teachers' capacity is a fundamental focus of instructional leadership. Research indicates that instructional leaders have a very important role to figure out how they can contribute to improve teaching and learning. Importantly, instructional leaders have been pivotal in facilitating a substantial shift in the locus of delivery of professional learning with the aim of directly equipping teachers to address the immediate learning needs of the students. These learning needs have been identified through the enhanced use of diagnostic assessment and student evidence samples as the basis of informed decision-making about teaching and student learning. The process by which these needs are identified become the focus of teacher professional learning. The impact of instructional leaders on a range of school practices includes increased focus on classroom-based instructional techniques, a stronger culture of evidence-based decision-making, increased emphasis on building teacher capacity, greater emphasis on assessment of student learning for quality teaching, greater consistency of teaching within the educational level, use of data for tailoring learning experiences for individual students, use of data for tailoring learning experiences for the whole class, engagement of parents in the learning process, and a more collaborative approach to decision making. The attitude of the instructional leader is very important. Instructional leaders are more successful when they present themselves not as experts who have come to fix the school, but as resources to facilitate change. The same attitude also needs to carry through to ongoing interactions with teachers. That success is more likely when instructional leaders adopt a style of interaction in which they do not tell teachers what to do, but rather pose the questions such as, "What do you think needs to be improved? And how might we do this?" Approaches to building teacher capacity that are based on empowerment and recognition of teachers' professionalism are not only more accepted and respected by teachers, but are more likely to help embed a sustainable culture of reflective practice. Knowing the typical jobs of the instructional leaders invites us to find out the specific roles of instructional leaders to improve instruction. This moves us to our last key point. What must instructional leaders do to improve instruction? As instructional leader, he must do the following: school leader, catalyst for change, learning facilitator, resource provider, data coach, instructional specialists, curriculum specialists, classroom supporter, mentor, and learner. As school leader, he works collaboratively with the school's formal leadership to plan, implement, and assess school change initiatives to ensure alignment and focuses on intended results. As catalyst for change, he creates alternatives to the current practice for improved student outcomes. He is not comfortable with merely repeating practices. He poses and questions these practices with the purpose of finding ways for better results. As learning facilitator, he is the key player in designing collaborative, job-embedded, standards-based professional learning communities. As resource provider, he provides teachers with resources that will help them reach their desired outcomes. As data coach, he ensures that student achievement data drive decisions in classrooms as well as the school. As instructional specialist, he is responsible for aligning instruction with curriculum to meet the needs of all students using different teaching learning strategies. As curriculum specialists, he ensures the implementation of adapted curriculum and has a strong understanding of the intended learning outcomes. As classroom supporter, he seeks out for opportunities to increase the effectiveness of classroom instruction, better facilities, new teaching strategies, new learning materials, and the like. As mentor, he works to increase the instructional skills of the novice teachers and support cohort-wide activities. And as learner, he is the model for continual improvement, demonstrates lifelong learning, and helps all students to achieve. As said earlier, the focus of instructional leadership is the students' learning, and its goal is to provide quality instruction to all students. Instructional leaders continually facilitate greater uptake of the concepts of differentiated teaching and personalized learning, more frequent opportunities for students to practice key concepts or skills, and to receive direct feedback on their progress towards the incremental achievement of their goals, which impacted positively on student engagement during learning. More specific articulation of the learning intention of a particular lesson or series of lessons, ensuring that students understood the criteria by which they could measure their mastery of the key concepts or skills involved. Stronger emphasis on scaffolding learning so that students better understood the purpose of their learning and the specified reasons why they are undertaking particular activities. Instructional leadership is crucial in facilitating, improving, and promoting the academic progress of students. A litany of characteristics and tasks has been identified from research studies on school improvement and instructional leader effectiveness, including high expectations of students and teachers, an emphasis on instruction, provision of professional development, and use of data to evaluate students' progress. The role of instructional leaders is crucial to attain quality instruction to improve the achievement of diverse students, most especially in the new normal education. I would like to challenge the notion that school leaders should be the sole instructional expert in a school. While the principal and other senior leaders need to know what good teaching practice looks like and what constitutes good enough, it is not realistic, nor is it likely to be the most effective approach for them to be the sole providers of this feedback to teachers. Researchers suggest that it is more effective to have teachers working collaboratively and for very high effect using a coaching approach in how they support each other. Leaders play a significant role in leading instruction. However, it is when teachers work collaboratively with peers, incorporating data collected through peer observation, and following up with regular and sophisticated collegial coaching conversations that we see the most impact on teaching practice. This impacts directly on outcomes of students. I would like to close our session by reiterating the key points I have just presented, such as the concept of instructional leadership, the typical jobs of the instructional leaders, and the specific task that the instructional leaders must do to improve instruction. thank you for joining us.
And this is the end of our video. Now we would like to move to the Q&A sessions. Just a kind reminder, if you have anything to share, please speak up, or you have any questions, please type it into the chat box so that everyone can see, and Dr. Anita will address each question individually. Meanwhile, waiting for our participants to type in their questions, Dr. Anita, is there anything else you want to share or to input in the video before answering the questions?
Yeah, thank you so much. Really, maybe we can reflect some points, after viewing and listening to video. It is all about instructional leadership. I guess what I emphasized in that presentation is that instructional leadership really is focusing on quality instruction. By quality instruction, we are able to deliver, we are able to transform our students to, a kind of student that we would like. By quality instruction, I would mean that there must be a change on the part of the students. And I guess I have mentioned that there must be a change from not knowing to knowing. There must be a change of behavior, of attitude. Not just cognitive, not just the knowledge, but see, by instruction, we are developing students, we are transforming students from who they are now to what we would like them to become after taking the course. That's what instruction is. That's quite important. And I guess you understand that this is the center of education. Our mission is to really help our students, to transform our students, to become good students, productive students in the society. Yeah. So with that, I know that you have done your best in your school as leaders, as managers, as teachers. We play different roles. And our roles maybe are defined to what kind of position and task we are assigned. But, teacher, we go beyond. We do extra mile, spend more time than what is, required of us when needed. So maybe you have in mind, okay, we already have a question here.
I would like to say a few words.
Yes.
Hello. Yeah, I'm Ethan from Nijina University, Myanmar.
Myanmar.
I'm very happy to learn your lecture, and I do agree with you. Nowadays, if we think of the proportion of teaching and learning, now teaching is getting more and more. So we do need a quality instruction for the student, for effective learning. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you so much for your sharing. I appreciate it very much. Thank you. And you are right.
Thank you.
Dr. Anita, there is one question from Ma'am Sari. How are instructional leadership challenges overcome?
Okay, that's a very interesting question. Ma'am Sari, again, I'd like to repeat the question. How are instructional leadership challenges overcome? Very interesting, as I said. Well, there are lots of challenges in leading instruction. One challenge could be teachers may not really understand what is instruction, may really need some inputs, because I see that there are there are teachers who believe and who would tell us that I am comfortable with what I am doing now in the class, and why should I change this, you know? Because in instruction, we would like to really like skill up, you know, like what we are doing now. We have to question, you know, we have to investigate. If I am doing right now, I'm doing good, can I do this better? Is there a way to make this do it in another way that would improve what is happening now? See, because our goal in instruction is really to transform, to give the best of us, you know, to the students, the best of our learning, our knowledge about the subject, and the attitude that we would like our students to acquire after taking the course. Maybe from being passive to class to being active, you know, from being maybe a trouble one in the class, really be behaving in the class. So I understand that one challenge of instructional leadership could be to encourage, to, you know, impart teachers, I would say, understanding of change in terms of improving instruction. Could be. And maybe another challenge is the professional development, like maybe the lack of budget for capacity building. That could be a financial thing. We would like our students to make up a training and workshop about, you know, like classroom management, or about teacher leadership in the classroom. Whatever things, topics that you might want the teachers to level up, you know, to, you know, acquire new knowledge and skills, but in the budget would be one of the problems. Okay, and maybe another problem could be there is lack of teamwork and cooperation and collaboration within the workplace. You know, there are teachers who are not that cooperative and not collaborative. That could be because they have their own ways of doing things. You know, there are more. The question is, how are these challenges overcome? I guess in terms of attitude and behavior of the teachers, there must be like a coaching and a coaching practice or mentoring practice. That could be one. If the teachers quite really difficult, you know, I mean, you know, there are teachers who are principled already for being there for a number of years, like senior teachers, for instance. I guess coaching is really a good thing to do. There is this one-on-one coaching or mentoring that could be so that we'll be able to know what is really inside the mind, you know, and the heart of the teacher. So there is no way but to talk. There must be dialogue. There must be conversation. There must be communication, and there must be open line communication. I guess the problem there is that when the leader is quite a distant from the teacher, you know, there is this layers that the teachers are quite, you know, hesitant and not comfortable. So we have to break that layer and approach and reach out, you know, teachers to be more comfortable and at home telling what the teachers would like to tell. So dialogue, conversation. Okay, for that could be one. Coaching, mentoring. Now for budget, like financial budget, I guess one thing that the leader could do is to collaborate with, to work with, to partner, I would say. If there be partnership with agencies or establishments in your area, no, it would depend on how the school and the community are working together, you know, because this time there must be, it's necessary rather, that there is partnership between community, between business, establishments, and school, you know, to enhance quality instruction. They really can do many things. They can do. If we cannot get, for example, financial support, maybe there are people there who are experts in the field and we can invite to be the speakers, you know, and on topics that are needed, you know, in the school for quality teaching. This, that would now depend on creativity and resourcefulness of the leaders. And financial problem, that would be the school thing, and that has to be also articulated to the higher office so that there is an understanding of what is needed as of the moment, and it should be articulated and communicated in a manner that people up there would understand and would kindly assist, I would say. I hope I have shared with you my idea about, you know, challenges of instructional leadership. But again, as I mentioned, by the way, in my presentation, that instructional leadership here, I would see a shared responsibility. So it would not be shouldered alone by the principal or the dean or whoever are there, but it must be a mutual responsibility between teachers and the leaders so that it will affect really quality instruction. Okay. Are there more questions? I hope I have shared the point. By the way, if it's not, if you would like to say more, do the follow-up. You can have a follow-up question. Are there more?
At the moment, someone is sharing their screens.
Okay, I think there is one here, if I get this right. From UCH. Okay, thank you for this question. The concept of instructional leadership is really highly qualified, but to what extent is this concept applied to schools where they are challenging in terms of finances, human resources, and other things? How is it useful for those schools? Okay, very, very interesting and quite challenging question because it has to do with really finances, you know. I guess what you are referring here is like hosting capacity development or professional development to improve quality instruction. And then due to financial constraint, that quite be impossible. Yeah, I understand. We live according to our context and circumstance. If finances really are quite difficult and we could not just demand, you know, something that cannot be reached out as of the moment. But I would say, you know, we can do it in our local, you know, in our school. Now, I remember, I'd like to share with you my experience way back when I was still instructor and I was the chair of the English department back in the Philippines, Xavier University, you know, Philippines. What we practice is that we really set a day for a week, once a week. Okay, this is what we were doing. There is what we call professional learning community. We call it professional learning community. Now, professional learning community in English, professional learning community in math, professional learning community in history, and something like that. Now, what we were doing there is that once a week, teachers in handling in English, I belong to English, for example, like there are different subjects offered in English. We have writing, reading, speaking, listening, and we have English for specific purposes, and different areas under the English program. And what we do there is that we come together. Teachers, for example, on English for specific purposes will meet once a week. And during that meeting, we shared our experiences of teaching, like our strategies, like our techniques, how do we present the topic to our students, and then what are the challenges that we meet, and how did we overcome the challenges, and then what are the behavioral problems of the students and how we handle it. That is every week. So each teacher, if we were, for example, like 5 teachers handling that subject, then each one is going to share his or her experiences of teaching, from the strategy of teaching to the content, the topic, and the successes and the failures during the week, and how the failures, challenges are overcome. And that is done every week. So there is feedbacking, there is sharing, and that really helps, because all of us teachers in one subject are guided properly, and we learn from our sharing. We are improving in the process for quality instruction. See, so that really works a lot for us. And I think that can help, especially because we talk about the problems right there in the classroom, and the problem on how to deliver it in a manner that our students understand. If we are handling, for example, students who are not performing or low performing students, how do we approach the students in delivering our lesson in a manner that they would understand? We share that all once a week. I guess that would also improve, and really that improves quality instruction. And another thing that aside from that, another thing that we did is that we have some topics that we feel not all of us are experts, for example. And then we ask the teacher within the subject area, like, for example, English for specific purpose subject. And we are 5 teachers. And then we take turn to be speakers, and we have each topic to research, and then we are going to present that to the group of us, and then there is question and answer, and each one, it is a rotation, because if I am done, another teacher will do this, then another teacher will do this. That really matters. We do it like once a month, but our meeting as professional learning community once a week. And we really grow in the process. Okay, so what I am telling here is that it will really be a conversation between leaders and teachers on what they will be doing in order to improve instruction, in order to achieve quality teaching and learning. Okay, I hope I have shared my part. Thank you for that question. Okay, we have another one. Is this another one, Mr. Fad?
Yes, from Suvanara.
Fakdi. Okay, thank you for this question. Say good morning, doctor. Good morning. Thank Thank you so much for your wonderful presentation. Thank you too for listening and for being with us. Now I have a question regarding the topic. Okay, how could we teachers bring about instructional changes in our workplace since we have little power to propose changes? Oh, right. It's a real question. It's an interesting question too. Now, I see the problem here. Really, it's quite challenging one. In that sense, no, I think we cannot, no, because of the, you mentioned about the power for change or to propose changes. But I guess we won't tell the leader that we would like the change, because if we would do it, they might misinterpret us. But we can say it in a nice way. Like, for example, you can propose, if you have the problem that you would like to propose a change, then you can say, maybe that I have an idea about this. What if we will do it this way? I mean, what do you think? It will be good to do it this way rather than this way. What I am trying to say here is that it would depend now on how you approach your leader, I guess. You do a conversation in a manner that the leader would not be offended. It would be maybe a very nice conversation, I would say. And perhaps the leader will listen. Because I guess being a leader, he or she must also be open-minded for change. But anyone can be offended if we will do it in a way that is quite maybe offending to the person. So that would be one thing that can be done. Another thing is that start the change from you. Be an example. And then that might spread out to other teachers, and you will be able to gain a support for change, I would say. So first is say it in a nice way to the leader that you are proposing something and might be good to do this. And second is you start it from yourself, be an exemplar, and that might be also inviting to other teachers, and other teachers will join you. And then gradually you make a change, and that quality instruction will be achieved. And students will be learning in process that much. And students are changing as we would like our students be. Okay. I hope I have shared the point that I would like to share.
And I have seen some participants have been asking about the PPTs and also the Google form link for the assignments. We have sent it to the chat box in the below in the Zoom. So please bookmark or download the file back to your computers. Even though we still will send you these two forms in an email next week. Thank you. And as we are shorted, we have a time limit, so please, oh yes, there is another question, Dr. Anita. Could you explain about the differences between instructional leader and transformational leaders?
Okay, very, very good. Thank you for that question. Yeah. Now, instructional leader focuses on instruction. By instruction, focuses on teaching quality, focuses on student outcomes, focuses on how you deliver your lesson. Do you deliver your lesson in a manner that your students understand, and how you gauge that your students understand that there is change on the part of your students, that they are learning. Okay, that is instructional leader. The focus and the center of instructional leader is the student. So teachers are helped out. Teachers are, I would say, guided properly and supported properly to be able to really give their best to achieve quality instruction. In process, maybe the instructional leader would, I would say, transform the teacher from not so good teacher to become effective teacher. Could be instructional leader is doing that, to transform the teachers as well as to transform the students. That indirectly, directly to the teachers, indirectly to the students. There is transformation happening. That's instructional leadership. But transformational leadership or transformational leader is, I would say, a broad, the scope of work, the scope of task is broader than instructional leader, because transformational leader would look at the stuff in a, I would say, in a macro thing. So it's not just the teachers that are focused by transformational leadership. Not just the teachers, but all the staff are guided properly, to be transformed to what they are, or what kind of working management they are doing now, to better working management, better, effective management, I would say. So again, transformational leader is to transform all the staff of the school, for example, to become the best staff. Transformational leadership. I would like again to point out that when we speak of leadership, we are dealing with people. Leadership focuses on people, for the good of the people. People to become effective. People to become best in their own ways. When we speak of management, we are referring to task. How is the task done? How is it performed? Does it perform efficiently, effectively? That's management. But leadership focuses on people, while management focuses on work, performance, and other things. Okay, so I guess you see now the instructional leader and transformational leader. By the way, but again, instructional leader focuses on instruction, but instruction consists of teachers and students. Develop the teachers, transform the teachers to become best, so as they can transform students to become best and make change. Transformational leader is dealing with the whole staff and transform the staff to become the best. Okay, I hope I have answered your question.
It is 10 o'clock now, so
Yes.
I think we should have a short break before we start our second session. Second lectures of today's session. Just once again, I would like to remind everyone to type in your email address in the chat box so that we can follow up with you later next week. We will send you the PPT as well as the Google Form link once again via email. And as it is about 10 to 5 past 10 now, I would like to resume.
Yeah, I would like to say something first before we end. I would like also to encourage you for your assignment. I am really reading the assignment, and I am glad, I'm happy when I am reading your assignment for this topic. Please, I'm expecting for your assignment as well. Okay, thank you.
And I would suggest we resume our sessions at 10:20. So
Okay.
please do have 15 minutes to prep, have a tea or coffee. Thank you. We will be back at 10:20 sharp.
Okay. Okay, thank you.
I can hear your voice, sir.
And hello again, everyone. I think we should resume our second lessons. And for those who have just joined our second lectures on this session, please type in your email on the chat box so that I can email you all the materials of the today sessions to your email via probably to next week. And Dr. Anita, are you here?
I am in, yeah.
Okay.
I'm sure. I'm here.
Okay. Welcome back to another topic of today's sessions. The topic titled Resilience in the Workplace. And for everyone, I would like to request to turn on your camera again for, well, a second photo shoot, just to include everyone who have just joined us. Thank you. We have a few more participants, so please turn on your camera for a second photo shoot. So I will start count to 3. 1, 2, 3. Smile, please. 1, 2, 3. Smile, please. And one last time, sorry. 1, 2, 3. Smile, please. Thank you. And
Thank you.
We will start our second video now.
Welcome back to the last topic of Module 1, Topic 4, Resilience in the Workplace. Resilience is critical in the workplace, especially in times of crisis such as COVID-19 pandemic. In time, it is necessary to ask ourselves, do we have the ability to bounce back when faced with adversity? Keeping that in mind, I'm going to share with you 3 key points as follows. Why is resilience important in the workplace? How will you respond to workplace adversity with resilience? And how can you build a resilient workforce? Let's get started. Why is resilience important in the workplace? Resilience is the ability to bounce back when encountering the challenges that are an inevitable part of life. In business, we can see the tremendous application resilience has on an organization's ability to overcome disruptions or changes in order to remain focused and productive. I would like to share with you 5 characteristics that all resilient people have in common according to Sandy Ash. They include 1. Ability to control the response. Resilient people are proactive in nature with the ability to control egotistical expression and desire to be right and make others wrong. Instead of reacting to a person or situation, resilient people pause to consider their emotions, remain calm, and choose to respond productively and optimistically. 2. Proficiency at managing time and energy. There can be a tendency to get caught up in the swirl of day-to-day demands, diminishing our capacity to envision what's next. Resilient people are able to free themselves from the present, listen for the future, banish distractions, and take control of their work environment and make thinking time a priority. 3. Consistent authenticity. Authenticity begins with self-awareness, and resilient people know who they are, their values, emotions, competencies, and how they are perceived by others. In Be Yourself But Carefully by Lisa Roche in the Harvard Business Review, she says, to be authentic is to be genuine. True authenticity doesn't require you to tell others who you are and what you value, because they're able to see what you value from the way you lead, the way you treat others. Resilient people don't need to work at this. They are this. 4. Maintaining meaningful connectedness. Resilient people are particularly good at having healthy relationships at work, home, and in the community. These positive relationships result in their positive physical, mental, and emotional health and help them mitigate stress and promote longevity. With connection comes higher engagement, and so you will see these people more readily contributing their time and talents to have a meaningful impact in the organization while building trust and respect with people around them. And 5, prevailing perseverance. Resilient people have an insatiable appetite for excellence. They are determined to do their best and be their best every day. They don't allow setbacks to keep them down, and they see obstacles as opportunities. There is something truly inspiring about a resilient person's ability to pick himself up and push forward no matter what. Resilience is more than survival. It is your ability to navigate the uncertainty and ambiguity while remaining true to closely held values. Resilient people and companies do not only rebound from challenging circumstances, they seek out meaningful ways to learn from those experiences and build capacity for the future. While the concept of resilience is complex and subject to varied interpretations, it is perhaps one of the greatest attributes of successful people. Having said, a resilient workforce benefits from your business in so many ways. Here are the 9 benefits that resilience brings to the workplace. 1. Better handling of challenges. Resilience can prevent negative emotions and thoughts from clouding judgment, meaning employees can deal with issues in the workplace more calmly and logically. When people focus on solving the problem rather than finding blame, they can reach a common ground and a constructive solution. 2. Improved communication. Those with good resilience often have better self-assurance and confidence. They are more likely to actively speak up and contribute and can express themselves more clearly and constructively. Idea sharing in a business is crucial for exploring all options and encouraging creativity. 3. Reduced burnout and presenteeism. People become burnout when they lose that driving passion for their work. This is often linked to poor resilience. Burnout can then lead to presenteeism, which is when an employee's mind isn't fully switched on at work. Resilience can help people hold on to that spark for the job and bring their whole selves to it. 4. Creating a competitive business. Businesses who can effectively ride out times of change and who have employees that work well together are the ones that will weather difficult times in their industry. Also, resilient employees are more likely to stick around during and after changes. Holding on to people who know the business inside out and can tolerate necessary changes is important for the longevity of your organization. 5. Setting realistic expectations. Conflicting expectations are often due to lack of clear communication and boundary setting. Resilience enables people to better understand their own and others' needs, so expectations don't go beyond people's capabilities. This in turn allows everyone to work more efficiently and amicably. 6. Better relationships among colleagues. A key aspect of resilience is building strong relationships with others, including colleagues, which enables better teamwork. Resilience can also prevent friction amongst colleagues, as it helps you to take things less personally. 7. Open to upskilling and developing. Resilience promotes a growth mindset where the person will actively and openly seek out development and opportunities. Having employees in your teamwork who are willing to grow, in turn, pushes the company to grow. 8. Good organization and time management. All workplaces benefit from having organized staff, as they can efficiently manage their workload and coordinate with others. Resilience can foster a mindset that focuses on the future and allows them to plan realistically, which promotes productivity. And 9, willingness to give and support. A growth mindset enables an openness to feedback, both in terms of giving and receiving. Resilient employees see the value in reaching out to others, and no one is a one-man band. This can help them overcome challenges and receive valuable support during personal difficulties, which may otherwise have a knock-on effect at work. As you can see, having a resilient team brings countless benefits. There are really no downsides to helping people become more resilient. This leads us to the second key point. How will you respond to workplace adversity with resilience? When adversity strikes, ask questions that examine the problem. Then consider constructive approaches through the lens of 4 different dimensions that research on resilience and hardiness identify as crucial. 1. Control. Which facets of the situation can you potentially influence? Think about how a person you emulate and admire would act. Then work with your team to identify all of these areas the team can have an impact on. 2. Ownership. Regardless of your job description, how can you step up to make the most immediate and positive impact on the issue? Think about what effect your efforts will have on the people around you, and consider what you can do to encourage those hanging back to pitch in. 3. Reach. How big or bad do you think the problem is? Is it something so far-reaching that it may cast a shadow over all of your activities? Think about what you can do to address the potential pitfalls, as well as what you can do to maximize the potential upside. Even if you come up with something that improves the situation by just 10%, that's progress. Consider the strengths and resources you and your team can develop by addressing the issue. Identify with your team what each person can do to increase the chances that things will work out. And 4. Endurance. How long do you think the situation will last? Think about what you would like the work to look like on the other side of the obstacle. Consider what you can do in the next 4 hours to move in that direction. Develop a series of steps and an ongoing process for dealing with the setbacks. Keep your team members informed and ask for their input. Knowing the 4 lenses of resilience in responding to adversity in the workplace encourages us to find ways to build a resilient workforce. This brings us to our last key point. How can you build a resilient workforce? A resilient workplace is the extent to which your employee body is able to withstand or recover quickly from change, whether planned or unplanned. Here are the 5 pillars that you can help build workforce resilience. Pillar 1, emotional well-being. Pillar 2, inner drive. Pillar 3, future focus. Pillar 4, relationships. And Pillar 5, physical health. Emotional well-being refers to how will you manage your emotions and thoughts and how healthy and realistic your views are of yourself and the world. This is the most fundamental pillar of resilience. Inner drive is your ability to set goals and motivate yourself as well as adopt a forward-thinking approach to progress through life. Future focus is your level of foresight as well as an ability to focus on solutions and positive change. It also encompasses acceptance of failures and adversity. Relationships refers to having a strong social network with friends, family, colleagues, and others, which provides emotional and physical support. And physical health means recognizing the importance of looking after yourself physically, as poor physical well-being can directly impact the other pillars. These pillars are all interlinked and contain their own individual building blocks, which you must develop to strengthen the pillars as a whole. Here are a few suggestions for developing each pillar. Improving emotional well-being. Building emotional resilience in the workplace takes time and a willingness to break out of deeply rooted harmful habits. For example, negative automatic thoughts are a barrier to many people's resilience. The best way to challenge this and improve your emotional resilience is with physical tracking and correcting. An effective way you and others can do this is by writing down negative thoughts and analyzing their validity. You will do this as soon as you can after they occur. Over time, the mind will divert from automatically creating a detrimental thoughts to challenging it instead. With practice, your mind will learn to ignore and replace negative thoughts with a healthier, more realistic one. Promoting an inner drive. Being self-driven is essential for finding greater success and productivity at work and preventing things from becoming overwhelming. Without it, people can often feel like projects are dragging and may not put their heart into them. One way to enhance inner drive is through effective goal setting. One commonly used framework is SMART, which stands for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. Fostering a future focus. Looking towards the future is a fundamental way to keep moving forward constructively and smoothly. You therefore need to know how to promote a growth mindset. Not only does this allow openness to change and adaptation, but it also allows healthy responses to unexpected challenges and problems. 2 areas you should look to develop in yourself and others: critical thinking and accountability. Critical thinking requires stopping and thinking logically rather than being swayed by emotions. It also means being open to admitting you don't know everything and can ask questions to learn more. Accountability means taking responsibility for your actions and emotions. It means recognizing that you can't change the past, but you can positively affect the future. Rather than waste time placing meaningless and potentially inflammatory blame, accountability allows you and others to take a forward-thinking approach to a situation and learn from it. Developing healthy relationships. Relationships take time to develop and really can't be forced. However, the end result is feeling better, understood, supported, and inspired by others. So, it is worth the effort. 3 areas you should focus on at work are addressing toxic relationships, building genuine connections, and finding or becoming a role model or mentor. If there are people who bring you and others down at work, think about what can be done. Often, people don't fully realize what they're doing and how it affects others until someone else challenges it. Feedback can help with this. Building genuine connections is as simple as expressing real interest in others, including their differences, and being mindful of their views and values. Opening up your mind to how others live expands your own perceptions and can lead to fulfilling relationships in ways you never even expected. Finding or becoming a role mentor is an excellent way to develop the core elements of resilience. You should therefore encourage your team to learn from those around them. This could be as simple as observing what they do from a distance or having more direct one-on-one discussions. In turn, let people know that you are willing to support their growth and share your experiences with them. Supporting physical well-being. A person's physical state is closely linked to their mental and emotional one, so it can have a huge knock-on effect on how resilient a person feels. There is only so much you can do to support this pillar in others, as physical fitness is very much a personal thing. However, you can help people gain the physical and emotional rest they need by promoting a good work-life balance. There really is no reason for people to take work home with them. If they are, chances are the work hasn't been organized properly and staff are being overworked. This is detrimental to productivity. When people come into work after a proper break, they will be much more switched on. Building a resilient workforce is a process, and it's worth taking. Workplaces are often ever-changing and stressful environments, and the challenges they present can truly test a person's tenacity. Having a resilient workforce is key to withstand the adversity in the workplace. What's interesting, though, is that some people not only comfortably ride out these waves of difficulty, but they find success in them. How do these people manage to make the most out of a bad situation? What prevents them from feeling personally affected when things don't go way they want or expect? This quality is often defined as resilience. I will close my presentation by reiterating the key points of our session today: the concept and importance of resilience in the workplace, the attributes of resilient people, the benefits that resilience brings to the workplace, the 4 lenses of resilience to respond to workplace adversity, and the 5 pillars of resilience to build a resilient workforce. Thank you for joining us today.
And this is the end of the video. If you have any questions, please type them into the questions box and Dr. Anita will address them individually. For the moment, Dr. Anita, would you like to add in any information or talk to our participants?
Thank you, Pat. Welcome again to our second session. resilience in the workplace. I guess you were watching and listening, and maybe at this point you have some questions, or perhaps you would like to share your experiences, anything that you would like to tell us. They are all welcome.
Hello, Dr.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah, I'd like to, hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I would like to ask you a question. Yeah, hello. Maybe the internet connection is not so good.
But I can hear you.
Yeah, resilience in workplace is thank you. The important one to promote our the people around me.
That's so clear.
Can you please type your question into the chat box? Your connection is unstable and we could
more resilience in.
Yeah.
Hello.
It seems the connection is not performing well.
So sorry. Easy.
Meanwhile, waiting for the questions, I would like to remind everyone again, if you haven't typed your email into the chat box, please do so, because we will follow up with you via this email next week. Thank you.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir, please. I am Clear Live from Myanmar. I want to know the more important in workplace. For example, technologies.
Yeah, I cannot. It seems the connection is unstable.
Yes.
Can you please state your questions again?
Yes, I can write in chat box.
Okay. While you are writing, maybe we can talk about resilience. I don't know if the connection is okay. Can you hear me? I don't know. Okay, thank you. You can hear me. Now, I understand that all of us, okay, keep writing. If you have some questions, you can continue writing in the chat box. But while writing and waiting for the question, Maybe we can have some sharing. Now, I understand that all of us have resilience. We are all resilient people. That is why we are up to now and we survived, you know. We survive with all the challenges, adversities, and problems that we encounter in life, be it personal, family, work, business, or whatever the kind of adversity and challenges are, we survive. And with what makes us survive is our resilience.
Yes. Thank
Okay.
you so much, sir.
Mhm. It's our resilience. But, you know, there are times that our resilience is also tested, right?
Yes.
When sometimes we feel that it's too much, the burden is too much. At work, for example, we feel we are burned out. So many works, so many tasks, and the deadline is so tight. We lose our resilience sometimes. So perhaps at that point then, we will be able to reflect and think back, set our goals again, stand up
Yes.
and do something. You know, that is resilience.
Yes.
So far, I wonder in your workplace, you know, that what kind of like challenges do you have and how did you overcome the challenge? Now, especially now in COVID-19 pandemic, when we are having remote teaching, online teaching, you know, and many schools, like colleges and universities, are not prepared, and many teachers are not prepared to shift from face-to-face teaching to online or remote teaching. I'm pretty sure there are lots of challenges, and our resilience is tested. But at the end, we are successful. They're here, and we're doing our part. Okay, so are there questions or insights? Yeah, welcome. UCH SAS.
So while waiting for a few more questions from the participants, well, I would like to remind all of you some important notes. Now, well, the second assignment link and also the PPT is available in the chat box right now. So can you please download the PPTs and save or bookmark the assignment form? We still gonna email you again this link next week. Because of some change in our way of processing the assignments and also applications and registrations. First, there's some important notes about that. So to please complete the assignment on the 2 Google Forms shared here before Monday next week, June the 28th. And then, yeah, your assignment will be subject to evaluation by Dr. Anita before we issue the certificates to your email. And please allow us sometimes expected to be a month from now because of the well, high volume of work. And second, your name on the assignment will be the one that used in your certificate of completion. So please make sure to input it correctly. Well,
Thank you so much for Professor. Now I can open the PDF file easily, but it can open for the Google and for the assignment. So maybe my connection is something wrong, or why I can open the assignment form. Please.
okay.
Yes.
Can someone double check with me whether you can access the assignment form?
Yes. So we can, I can open, or I give a direct message to you with a screenshot why I can open the form.
Yes, okay. There has been other one that confirmed with me there's some problem with the form. We will adjust that. So please allow us a few minutes and then refresh the form to see whether you can connect or not.
Thank you, Professor, for your lecture. Okay.
You welcome. So I guess. It's here. There's one. Okay. We have one question here from Mau Mau. Thank you for this question. I think the role of emotions is very important in resilience. I want to know how to manage emotions like setbacks and anxiety in workplace. Okay, you are right, Mau Mau. Emotions really matter a lot, you know, in resilience. Question is how to manage emotions in the workplace. I guess one way to manage is to be realistic. To be realistic, like for example, when we are affected by circumstances, maybe emotions can be manifested in terms of relationships, could be one, or in terms of handling many tasks, for example, difficult tasks, and maybe like tight deadline. So we see emotions are triggered, emotions are on fire, kind of. But how to manage emotions in the workplace? Again, as I said, be realistic. One thing, for example, you know, okay, one in the workplace is there are tasks, for example, that we cannot finish. By all means, it's beyond finishing today, and we're so worried. You know, we're affected because we ought to finish it today, but we cannot make it. To handle that case is to be realistic. Now, so far, this is what I have done my best. You know, I do my part, but I could just finish it now. So that's it. I will do it tomorrow. You know, that's what I mean by be realistic. Realistic in the sense that what I can do, giving the best I could, then I stop worrying about it. Now, in terms of relationship with people, for example, one thing that I have learned is that there are things in life that I cannot control to happen. I cannot control Like, for example, I have just said maybe unknowingly, maybe I did not really intend to do it. Not maybe, but I didn't really intend to speak out, and I didn't mind doing it. But then I did it, and I didn't know that it hurts. Now I am referring to relationship. If that happens to me, then I would say I reflect back, and then I said, really, that's my fault. The thing that I would do then is, of course, to say sorry to the person, and then I stop worrying about it. As I manage, I stop worrying about it because I cannot redo it again. That's beyond it's beyond time. That helps me to be resilient. So things that I have done and I could not do it again, then I stop worrying about it. Okay, but I will do what I can do today and tomorrow, maybe to patch up that relationship. And then what was done, that don't mind to me. Okay. Another thing also that happens to us, I don't know if it happens to you, but it happens to me, these bad thoughts that come along the way. Bad thoughts, like maybe the person doing it does not intend to hurt me, but I read it in the manner that is negative. And like, for example, when a person does not smile at me, and as in my friend, for example, does not smile at me, then I said, oh, what's wrong? What did I do? And then I imagine some bad thoughts. Maybe she was angry, or maybe she kind of, That's one thing that would drain my emotion. Okay. Or for example, in the workplace, when my boss seemed to be, strict or does not smile at me and a kind of, then I say, why is my boss angry to me? My director is mad, Then I try to figure out some negative thoughts that drain my emotions. Now, to manage emotions like that would be to shift, to reframe the thoughts and see maybe that person has a problem. Maybe that person is thinking about something else, that would somehow help me manage my emotions. So sometimes emotions are the results of what we are thinking about, what we are imagining, what we are perceiving, which may not be correct. And so to manage that, as I said, is to shift my mind to constructive things. I don't entertain negative thoughts. I would rather see things constructively, and that sustains me. Maybe that person's intention is bad, but I didn't perceive it as bad. It doesn't affect me. Kind of. So that's one thing that I am doing to manage my emotions. Now, look, let your emotions be healthy. Healthy emotions would give a healthy life. And of course, if we do something, like if I do something, I will evaluate that and I will correct. And doing good for others help me. And of course, my spiritual life is really a very big help, because I believe that, God is there and God is with me and, guiding me and helping me and protecting me. Kind. It's resilience. And I guess our experiences tell us also to be resilient, because once we already overcome, series, of adversities and challenges, we become strong. The point is we have to face challenges and adversities squarely, look at it, and study and examine, and see where you are. Can I do this? Can I still do something about it? Or if I can do, then I will. But if I can't, then I give it up. Sometimes it doesn't work to address adversity right away. It takes time. Okay, thank you for that question. Are there sharing of experiences and sometimes in the workplace, we meet people who are really difficult to deal with. But that's normal because each is unique. We have different backgrounds. We have different mindsets. I cannot put that person into my box and the way I like that person to behave and the way I like that person to act. I cannot. I have no power to do it. Then flexibility works. You have to be flexible, to be open-minded, to accept people as they are, without losing our own identity, without losing our own values and preferences. It's good to listen to others so we know their stories. Each of us has our own story and we respect that. Okay, so I think that's all for now. I mean, are there more sharing or no more? Then back.
Yes, Dr. Anita. So for today, I think we will close our sessions a bit early, and we would like to invite you to join our next sessions on Friday, July 30th, to cover the Module 2 Teachers Leadership in a Multicultural Environment and the role of teachers in post-pandemic education. Just like usual, we will send you the link 2 or 3 days before the start of the sessions. And thank you everyone for joining us today. We really appreciate you being here.
Yeah, so we have just finished our Module 1, Educational Leadership and Management. As already mentioned, we'll be having our upcoming Module 2. Thank you so much for being with us and for your participation. I'm so glad meeting you and expecting to meet you again.
Kindly share this free program with your colleagues and network so that it can make greater impact to the regional education. We look forward to meeting you again. And goodbye for now.
Goodbye.
Bye. Goodbye.
Bye. Bye. Ay, bye-bye. Okay, ko rin si Ay ko na. See you again. See you
Yes,
again.
see you. See you. Thank you for your presentations.
Thank you for
Yes.
being with us. Thank you.
Yes.
Thank you for your presentation.
Thank you. Welcome.
You can.
Welcome. Thank you.
See you, Doctor. Thank you.